Okay, here we are, last meeting before Thanksgiving, thank you for coming. We're gonna open the meeting with a motion to approve the minutes as presented from the November 6th meeting. You should have had those in your boxes some time ago.
So moved on the minute. Second.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion's carried. We've had the bills for a little while now too, that should be the next thing in your packet. First one is dated 11/20. Right around that down, you just make sure you have the right one. So, need a motion to pay the bills as presented. Any,
I'll make a motion.
Any,
No additions.
no additional conditions, okay.
I make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Discussion? No? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. In order to save our village clerk's voice, I know there's no correspondence, I'm not gonna ask her to speak. God, she sounds like this. Not that I feel your pain, so that's there. All right, you can see the agenda's pretty light tonight, but we're gonna get through it. We had the public hearing for the local law 3/2017 Cold War Veterans exemption. We had no further comment from the public. The board agreed to it, so I'd like the motion to enact local law 3/17 Cold War Veterans exemption.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion's carried. We are presently in phase 2 of the water treatment plant rehabilitation, where we need to purchase 3 chlorine skids for the water plant and all of its facilities, the tanks and whatnot. So because of the cost involved, we need to put those out for bid. So I'd like to have a motion to allow the clerk to seek bids for 3 chlorine units for the water plant.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, ma'am, you can go ahead and do those bids. The Crown Vic has been put into use by the water treatment plant. The lettering for the side is on the way, and our mechanic will put that on. You might have seen that there's no trim on it. The trim was pretty bent. We tried to straighten them out, and we'll see if it goes on. Chances are that it may not be able to, but that hole that was on the side right now is covered by white tape, but we're gonna put either a rural water sticker on it or just a white vinyl sticker. That's what we did before, and it held up pretty well. And the hydrant is back available for use as needed. And again, if you need to schedule it, basically on my desk, there's a big desk blotter calendar. Put it on there. If Steve's in there, tell him. And but you know, as long as it's not blocked off, you can use it. Okay. All right. If you remember last meeting, we discussed. I asked you about the downtown redevelopment initiative, revitalization initiative, and whether or not you wanted to submit anything on that. You said you did. I contacted the County Development Association person, Melissa Hernandez, and those applications were on my desk on Thursday. I signed them, and we scanned them and sent them back to her, and she has submitted them. So we are in line. That's all we can say right now. It was focused on the re-facade of that downtown block from Washington Avenue south to Ralph Park, those 3 buildings. So we're hoping that, you know, we can work out with the owners that they want to do that. But we had to first get this in, and you know, we have. And if you'd like to see the applications, I have them in my office as they were submitted. They're pretty bare bones. They just show what they are. There's some pictures of the structures and whatnot. But we're definitely on our way for that. So that was a good thing, trying to move things along in the village. As I mentioned, the water treatment plant modifications are in what we call phase 2. I'm going to let our public works supervisor, Mr. Pelkey, fill us in on the particulars when we go to other reports at the end of the meeting. I don't want to steal any of his thunder. They're doing a great job. Okay, and the other thing that you should have received in your packets are two policies. The first one is non-sufficient funds return check policy. And there were guidelines that were meant to be reviewed by the board of trustees last year on August 15th, dealing with a non-sufficient fund charge. Was set at $20 per check for ACH transaction, that's online transaction. And, you know, all the details were there. Nothing has changed, so let's do these one at a time. So, first of all, I'll ask for a motion to approve the non-sufficient funds return check policy.
So moved. Second.
Okay, discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're okay on that policy. The second policy was reviewed today before we had it, we adopted on August 1st, 2016. And this is federally mandated law, FMLA, and the state is right along with it. And under this policy, the village will grant up to 12 weeks for up to 26 weeks of military caregiver leave, care for a covered service member with a serious injury or illness during a 12-month period to eligible employees. And they list the eligibility of employees must have worked for us for 12 months or 52 weeks, even though they need not have been consecutive. They have to have a total. You must have worked at least 1,250 hours during the 12-month period. So the type of leave that's covered by this, to qualify, the employee must be taking leave as a result of the birth of a child in order to care for that child, or placement of the child for adoption, or foster care and to care for the newly placed child, to care for a spouse, child, or a parent with a serious health condition described below. We're not going to go through all of them. And the serious health condition of the employee. So they will use their regular leave, the sick leave, when they're doing this. If they don't have any, they still have to be granted leave without fear of losing their job. So they won't be paid if they're out of sick leave. But if someone comes in and says, I have sick leave, I just had a child, and blah, 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 we fill out the FMLA paperwork, and I think probably, Steve, you're going to be doing that when time comes around. So anyway, I'm sure you all read all of these things about how much it is, and coordination with crew leave, as I just talked about, what medical certification they have to have, when they return to work, and the status of their benefits during family or medical leave absence. This one was, a lot of people asked about. Group health insurance coverage will continue for employees on leave under the same terms and conditions as if they were still working. Employees who are granted an approved family and medical leave of absence under this policy will be required to make all premium payments that he or she otherwise would have had to make if actively employed. And failure to make such timely premium payments may result in termination of coverage. And again, inquiries regarding this policy, as I said, can be directly to the village administrator. It's as it was, just to make sure that the current board is aware of it. And so we'll start out by asking for a motion to approve this policy, and a second, and then we'll go into discussion if we need it. So can I have a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Second?
Okay, discussion.
I had one question, Mayor. Is this verbiage pretty much standard, like from the state or from the federal? We just
Yeah.
made it fit the village, but it isn't anything, it wasn't anything that was negotiated in the contract or anything. It's just, this is the mandate that we have, and
It's
we're
law.
we're
Yeah.
adopting it.
It's law, and we're just formalizing that, so we have a document we can go to. and
Yeah,
say
it's
this
just
is-
incorporating their thing into our.
Yeah, and we're just taking theirs and saying now the employees have a place where they can, look, this is the policy, and they know what to expect,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Whizzing through this, remind the residents, our village offices will be closed Thursday, Thanksgiving, and Friday, so Thursday and Friday closed. Back on Monday, bright and early. Again, our CP holiday trade will arrive in Rouses Point at 9 p.m. on November 27th. So, again, that's an opportunity for people to bring food, foodstuffs, canned goods, for donations for the local food bank. They'll have representatives there. I believe trustee Arnold's gonna be a representative for the food bank, isn't that correct?
No, Bob St. John.
Bob St. John.
Bob St. John's and Jason Juno.
So there'll be people there to collect it, and so I hope.
Fire department will be there.
Yeah, I hope, as in the past, they've pretty much done the same thing, and then
Right.
they cart it to the food bank, so.
Yep,
That's gonna be Monday night?
yep,
Yeah.
Monday night, yeah.
The CP also gives us a significant, gives the food bank a significant monetary contribution as well. We do that every year, so. Pointed out last time, it's quite a bit, so. Just a reminder, and finally, the annual parade, not finally, but number 9, the annual parade of toys, December 1st at 6:45 in Rouse Park. And if you want to volunteer, you can call our village clerk on Monday. You won't be able, or maybe Wednesday if you have to, but she may not be able to talk to you because you can't hear her. But we'll try to get through that. And also, we will have, the sheriff's department will be providing us with traffic and crowd control for that whole thing as we march from Rouse Park to the pavilion down by the water plant. It'll be Santa Claus and his elf and all the other people are gonna be helping them out, so should be a good time for the children and adults as well.
Tree lighting be at that time too?
Pardon, sir?
Tree lighting be at that
I
time?
believe they'll light the tree that night, yeah. And both Rouse Park and at the thing, and one will be lit at the gazebo.
Gazebo.
Okay,
Thank you.
and there's gonna be some refreshments,
Hot
chocolate and
chocolate.
cookies? Okay, so that'll be great. And all the people that are working, I know that both the village clerk and the treasurer spend a lot of time with this stuff, and as well as the volunteers when it gets going. So you'll see that the garage is slowly turning into Santa's workshop, where the lights are going up, and we cleaned up just about everything that was in there. Okay, the last thing that I had to add to the agenda is I'm going to seek a motion for permission to sign the EMS contract with Champlain Moore's EMS, Champlain EMS Incorporated, I'm sorry. It has already been signed by their president. We had our attorney review it. He approved the contract on 10/11/17, said it was fine. The only difference is we're going up from 75 to 80,000 for what we're getting, and we're doing pretty well with that. So now, since this contract runs from January 1st to December 31st of 2018, even though we don't pay until July because of our fiscal year is different, they'd like to have the contract in hand to know that it's coming. So it seems a reasonable request, and I'd like to get this signed and hand it in tonight. So I'd like a motion to have the EMS contract signed for calendar year 2018.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion's carried. And with that, I'll turn it over to trustee Arnold.
All right, the fire department, they got another truck to go look at. It's in Danville, Connecticut. It's a 1991 Simmons duplex, 110 footer, 1,500 gallon a minute pump on it, and it's got a 300 gallon water tank, and it's piped a waterway pipe that piped up the ladder and stuff, and it's got 18,000 miles on it and 650 hours. And they want $10,000 for it. It's a 91.
Has that been checked out? They were gonna check it out on certifications and all that stuff? and-
They said they're selling it as is. If not, it's only gonna cost about $2,000, so it's a $12,000 truck instead of, but they'll have it checked out. Mike has got the email tonight on, and he's gonna email them back and said if they can do it, they have a ladder truck operations inspector down there right now, or in their area, and Mike says that they'll inspect it, have everything done, he'll pay for it, so just to let you guys know on it, so.
And the department's paying for this truck.
Correct, yeah,
then we gotta turn it over to the village. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and, I had to buy 3 bags of screws for the railroad station.
Snow guards?
For the snow guards, okay?
Yep.
And also, somebody asked me, well, a few people asked me about the bike path. If they're gonna put any, like they did on Pratt Street and Maple Street, the signs that says bike path, if they're gonna do that on the rest of the way up the golf course, which is not,
That's in the town.
that's in the town, right? But also, a couple people asked, are we gonna maintain them things that's in the road right now? Next year or a year after when they
We
wear out?
haven't, it hasn't even really officially been dedicated, so
Right.
I don't have an answer for you on
Okay, I'll check. Okay, and also, Steve, did we get a answer from the sheriff's department on the back room
that.
or the lockers?
During the other reports, he'll,
Oh, okay,
give us
all right,
a report.
okay. All right, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Dart?
The sewer plant operator, Mr. Graves, advised me that at least a year's worth of dry sludge has been trucked off, and we've already been built. I believe the last set of bills we approved some of that trucking. And also the self-pump station, there was a problem with the pump. The wiring, as it was at one time, it has been corrected. There was a deficiency in the unit. The company we purchased the unit from has come good on that. It was reinstalled and it's wired correctly, and I'm told that all the sensors are working correctly now. So that if it should fill with water, the sensor will go off and we shut the pump down so we don't use pumping over.
Mhm.
That's all been taken care of.
That was at the company's cost, they paid for it.
That's right, that's right. We probably had some labor costs involved right along, but anything to do with the pump itself and was taken care of by the corporation we purchased the pump.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
On the waste, how much does that leave us with? Did we still, I know they took a year's worth
Yeah, he didn't give me,
specific.
yes, a solid specific. I'm under the impression it's probably a half a year's worth. But we found that we can go probably 2 years if we had to. And obviously, the longer that stuff sits there, the drier it gets.
Right.
And we're charged by, the ton, to truck it off, so it's to our advantage.
So if we have 2 years storage capacity, how much available storage capacity do we have now that they cleaned it out? They emptied everything out, or?
I'm saying,
That's what he's saying.
I'm under the impression probably a year and a half we've got,
Okay.
or it could be near the two-year mark again.
Is that it, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Battle?
I have nothing at this time.
Oh, sorry, trustee Menard.
I have nothing at this time either.
Okay, Mr. Administrator, do you have something you want to report to us?
Sure do. In response to Trustee Batha's query last meeting about the transition to the Clinton County Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Leon and I, we chatted, actually he left me a message today about the pistols. First of all, I think there was 3 issues we were discussing. The pistols, they're trying to find an appropriate dealer, verify their functionality and do some function assessments on them, and ensure that they're going to be sold to law enforcement, largely because they don't want them to fall into private hands for some very obvious reasons, I would think, just in case something else happens in the future. So that's a little bit of a process. He assured me that they were doing that, working toward that.
We didn't put that stipulation on them to be sold.
We put the
We
stipulation,
said that they be sold through an FFL.
we put the stipulation on that the sheriff's department would handle the disposal of those weapons and other things, and we put an end date on it of March 2018.
I don't remember that.
Well, that's when everything is supposed to be completed. That's what was agreed upon.
But I don't think they have to be sold only to law enforcement.
Well, we've given them the authority to take care of their disposal. Go ahead, sir.
The shotguns they were gonna reuse, and repurpose within the department. The lockers were, he referenced a few of them had been cleaned out, I verified. Well, I wasn't satisfied that they were cleaned out, but I'm referring back to him to make sure I understand which ones we're talking about. And then the evidence room, as you asked about, he did let me know there is a key available in the current offices now, which I located. I opened the space and, you know, verified that it worked. There are some things in there, but I'm going to try to, if it's okay with all of you, I'm going to try to ask him to move any police property to the area where the police will be stationed in their substation.
Yeah. There were some fire extinguishers, and this brought last week, the fire extinguisher repair guy was here checking everything.
Yeah.
And there was a bunch of,
I went out and got them.
did you get all them out of there?
I got the ones we needed,
Yeah, we want to put them in the rest of our village trucks,
That's, well, actually, we needed them in some spaces. right?
wherever we need them,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but there were some in the things, so we went and grabbed them.
Okay.
And if we need any more, there's like maybe one extra one in there, we can grab that. From there.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking care of that, sir.
Sure.
Anything else?
Not this time.
Okay, Mr. Treasurer?
Our disability insurance policy comes up first of the year, and I'm working on getting a couple quotes to see if we can save any money. So I'll have to report, hopefully, at the next meeting regarding that.
Do we carry that with Wright now?
I'm sorry?
Do we carry that with the Wright Insurance? See, Wright? W-R-I-G-H-T, isn't that the company?
No, Shelter Point.
Okay,
Shelter Point.
Wright does workman's comp, okay, all right. All right, great. And finally, Mr. Pelkey, you can tell us how that water plant's going. It looks pretty good.
An update on the water plant. Stage 1 is working really well. The operators are very happy with the capacity of the pumps and the filters. We shut the intake off last week, and we took all the piping and all the old pumps out of the pit and completely cleaned it out, and we're getting ready to install the second pump. I'm hoping to have everything online with the skid units by the first of the year. We'll be in good shape for automation.
I think you guys did a very good job, Mr. Coffey.
We're waiting on a skid unit. We're hoping that if we get the bids out on Monday, 2 weeks, we should be able to go ahead and purchase the products. And then, you know, we'll start building up, doing checks on things so that, you know, eventually trying to make the plant a little more self-sufficient so it doesn't have to run it at night. But the material, the pipes that they took out of there, I don't know if any of you went and looked at them, but you could kick your foot right through them. I mean, it was, a couple of them were really, really bad, so.
Right.
We caught it just in time. They had put a Band-Aid over one and that fixed the hole, but, I think, at least from what they've told me and what I've seen, you know, we're gonna be in good shape, so. Thank you for, your work and,
I'm very happy with our progress.
Good.
And
Excellent.
we've come along
Very
very
good job.
well.
Okay, none reports. I'd like to open the meeting for any comments from the public. Ron?
Mr. Mayor, I'm Ron LeBlanc, I think you all know who I am, and I have a question regarding, is there an active plan to reutilize the Pfizer property? Is that plan published and known to the village at large? And if there is no active plan, then I propose that we put one in place with the various options depending on what we can negotiate with Pfizer.
Okay, we generally don't do question and answers at the end, but I'm gonna tell you what the Pfizer response is right now. The Pfizer owns all the buildings. We can't plan on doing anything because we don't know what's gonna be there. Their plan is to go through 2017, which is coming to an end, and they are shutting down. And then in 2018, decommission. Now, we don't know what decommission means. I'm sure you're aware, the newest buildings have been bulldozed. There's grass growing where they were. We don't know what their corporate strategy is going to be, how many buildings are gonna leave in order to market this place. But we can't market it because it's their place. And the people that come and ask can't be told, you can have it on this date. So it's kind of one of those things, like if you wanted to invest in there, you say, let's say you wanted to start your company in April, they can't tell you right now that April's gonna be available for you. So we're up against the corporation when they're ready to decommission and decide what it's gonna be and how they wanna market it, then we can move forward if they offer it to us. But there's, you know, the development committee, development corporation has had offers, but again, they've all been fallen to the wayside because they couldn't be given a date. Like, they said, we need it by then. They said, well, we can't tell you it's gonna be ready. And we can't tell you how many buildings are gonna be there. Once they start the decommissioning, they'll have a plan, I hope. They tell me they will. And that should be just a few months away, things are gonna start. And, if they're done, they're running their last batch, is what we've been told, of the one dose of the one, drug that they were making. And there's not gonna be any more. So, as soon as we know that, sir, I think that's when we need to, you know, hopefully they'll be able to tell us, okay, we're gonna be out of here at this time, and this is what's gonna be left. We're gonna have to examine the, you know, what it does to the assessed valuation of the property, what's available for, you know, immediate use, what land is available to be built. You know, speaking to Mr. Pelkey, I know there's plenty of power going up there. A lot, 20? About 20 megawatts?
Yeah,
There's
capable.
20 megawatts that goes to that area, so that'll run a lot of companies. And so that's gonna be a big draw, the power's already there. So hopefully that's what we're gonna do.
My concern is that we don't seem to be doing anything right now, we're just waiting on Pfizer. I don't believe that's our only option. I believe we can put plans in place now to negotiate with Pfizer and get a better deal. There's things they want, there's things we want, we need that, we need every building we can up there to develop. If they bulldoze everything, this town, this village is history. So that is the key to our future. And I just can't see waiting. There's plenty of mind power in this village to put together a plan and negotiate with Pfizer and know where we're gonna be today, not wait for them. You know, they don't wanna be in the building business, they wanna get out and leave, that's a fact. There's no big company that's gonna come in and buy that place. I think we have to, as a village, just eat our losses, take that property over when we can, and put a plan in place to develop it.
But
And I'll be glad to work with anybody in the village.
But you don't understand, they've been closing this building since 2005.
I'm very familiar, but I've seen a lot of, I've worked for big corporations, I see a lot, and guess what? They'll come up and they will leave. I'd be happy if there's nobody working there, so.
There's still 100 and some odd people working there.
they'll be-
You know what, Mr. Lawyer, I understand your passion for this. Pfizer is not going to give the village the land. Pfizer is going to market it to other people. And this is a decimal point on their balance sheet. This place is nothing. It's like a beep. It's something, they make more money than that place is worth in like 4 hours. It's nothing. There's nothing you can, we have no strength to negotiate from. All we say is, we're hoping that we can get in there, but they're not gonna be strong-armed, and, it's their land. We can't demand you give it to us.
I understand that, but I've worked for the biggest corporations in the world, and I guarantee you, we looked at every dollar that was spent in every facility, and we cut the vote. They're interested in cutting costs. That building is a cost to them.
That's why they bulldoze the new ones, and they're probably
Exactly,
gonna bulldoze most of them.
exactly. And if they bulldoze the whole thing, they'll save money, and we'll be out forever. We
Well,
can't afford to replace those buildings.
Well, no, but the companies that, for instance, and this is really turning into more it should be, but the companies that the development corporation have had are looking for land to build things. So if we have an industrial park with openings to build things, that'd be a great opportunity. It's not going to be, because there's no buildings there, these people that are interested want to build their own plant there. Not the whole thing, but they want this section. We want to be able to build a plant here. Somebody else wants to build one here. That's what we're hoping the future holds, is a whole industrial complex of a number of buildings. And frankly, the other areas around here, the one with the cheapest electricity, like us, Plattsburgh, is full. There's no more room in the city. And people are looking to come here because of the electric rates, and if we can create some space there, it may happen. So be assured it's out there, and if a committee is formed, we're gonna ask you to get on that committee and maybe even chair it and see what you guys can come up with.
I appreciate it, thank you for your time.
But I can tell you one thing, they have cut costs. They're working out of 2 buildings out of that whole plant right now. They're working out of 2 buildings. They consolidated when I was still there. Everything to 2 buildings to save costs. The other buildings are still there, they haven't tore them down yet. They haven't decided whether they're going to or not. So they have narrowed their costs down to as much as they can, I'm sure.
Well, it cost me zero when they just abandoned the whole thing. Or-
If they abandon it. But they can't abandon it right now because
No,
they have,
I understand.
they
The time
have
is-
obligations.
Correctly, I've seen this from 2,000 people down to nothing. You see,
Yeah.
I've seen it everywhere, I've worked for companies that do it, chop, 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 so, the end is coming.
I was there.
All right, thank you, sir, appreciate it. Appreciate your enthusiasm. Okay, we're going to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment history of particular employees. So we can do that and then go into recess. We're gonna have a motion to go into executive session for the discussion of employment history of particular employees.
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll ask that we go into recess now, and all we have to do is ask Mr. Cooper or Mr. Pelkey.
He's gonna be in this one.
He's gonna be here. Mr. Falke.
Or which one? Which employee?
The first one?
Okay, let's do it that way.
Yeah.
That way he doesn't have to wait around.
Right.